We're not containers for God's blessings. We're conduits for God's blessings.
I love it.
So, I love this picture of these big gray bins, like look at all the blessings I have, look at all the love, and look at all the support, and look at all the resources and all the, well, that's good for you, but we're not containers, we're conduits. Like pass that. If you've been loved, you love. If you've been given, you give. If you've been forgiven, you forgive. Like just all the things that we receive, we pass along to other people.
Be a river, not a pond, right?
Be a river, not a pond.
What goes into you should be flowing, what goes into you should be flowing through you.
So we just finished a podcast with Pastor Greg Menser talking about a house that burned down. And in the process of that, Cam on the podcast said, hey, we're going to go and we're going to donate a Christmas tree. And I was like, I'm down. Whatever we need to do, let's get him a Christmas tree so that they can have a blessed Christmas. And Cam, say what happened next. Welcome to the Cam and Joe Show. My name is Joe with my good friend Cam.
Happy Friday, big dog.
How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. I'm blessed.
Good. Well, today we get to talk about some community stuff going on, man.
I am all about. And don't you touch my mic
Well,
again.
you got to use it.
Bam! Oh. Cut. Last episode. Right now, we're beyond done.
I'm the diva.
Yeah. Well, no.
I'm not here to do counseling.
Yeah. But are you willing?
Always.
Introduce our guest. Buddy.
Absolutely. Will you introduce our guest?
No. I'm
right,
pissed.
So we've
I'm
got
sitting
Pastor
over here being,
Greg
I'm sulking.
here from Adventure Church. Thanks for coming, man.
You bet, man. So happy to be here. Honored.
So tell us a little bit about the situation. For those of you who don't know, there was an incident that happened in our community. And in this podcast, we're going to be talking about the community. We're going to be talking about the best ways to help and make awareness of this stuff. Because when tragedy happens, we got to be the hands and feet, right?
Yeah.
Dude, for sure. And if there's one thing we've learned about the Yuba-Sutter community, they show up all the time. So I'm from Chicago originally. I don't know if you guys knew that. So I'm from Chicago originally. So I'm a transplant. We moved here about 20 years ago. And when we moved out of state and then, came and we're contemplating moving back, there's this gravitational pull to the Yuba-Sutter community, and we love this community, and that was one of the draws to come back here because we just feel like it's family here, and there's just so much. There's so
gravitas
much
for sure.
Yeah, totally. So to see an opportunity like this where, so a single dad, in our community, working hard, doing all he needs to do. He's got a 13-year-old son, 2 9-year-old twins. Wow, that's
crazy.
That's next level. Yeah. Like start the GoFundMe just because of that, right?
Yeah. Why would I? No, he's got twins.
So,
and they're 9.
So we get the word, that his house burns down. He's in a duplex.
Wow.
Is behind Winco.
Yeah,
so,
and that was Saturday or that was
Friday or
Saturday.
Yeah,
I was in town. I was with Beck and Maddie in the truck, and I'm driving north on 99, and I just see this billowing black smoke.
Yeah.
Which at the corner of 99 and Bogue, we see a fire engine just roam, and of course the kids are like, follow it. I'm like, well, I can't. But I mean, sure enough, we're behind it, running code. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But you're just seeing all this black smoke billowing up. I'm like, maybe. I'm like, is that Winco? Like, maybe it's actually Winco.
Right.
Sure enough, it's next to it. I'm like, okay, there's a fire in a home directly behind it. But then, thank God, there were already engines on the scene, and the smoke was turning white, meaning it was out.
Right.
Lo and behold, this is a friend of y'all's.
Yeah,
and a
it's a member of our church, and someone who's been in our community, forever. And so it's a duplex, and so the fire actually started in the neighbor's garage. So it wasn't even in his place.
Gosh.
It was like the neighbor's garage, and so it's a duplex. So if there's a fire, it's going to affect the whole thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so so we get the word like, hey, Chris has lost everything, right? Like literally everything. Wow. And so immediately, Christine, good friend of the family, and whom we've known for a lot of years. She does what we do, like let's get the word out. Let's start spreading the word. Here are the needs, here are the things going on. And then he shows up to church, Sunday morning, because this is a guy, super humble, super, very quiet.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to ask for help. And that's, kind of a dude thing anyway.
That is a
We
dude thing.
we totally struggle. Like I will figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so thankfully I kind of caught him in the parking lot, so I was able to talk to him, pray with him. Like, hey man, like we're here, and obviously the ball had already started rolling, with donations and how can I help and what can I do, but so overwhelming too, right? Because he's still dealing with the trauma. You're
in shock of just all of the attention.
Yeah,
you're like now I'm gonna do this. Like okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then what do I do? And then what do I do? So. So thankfully, like I said, we had an opportunity to like kind of pray with him, and then we made it aware to the congregation that morning, and we have a compassion fund type thing. Most churches have some kind of benevolence compassion thing.
Yeah.
And so we're like, hey, like we didn't really have time to kind of mobilize like a second offering is what we'd typically call it, but we've got the compassion fund, and we just need you to give, and we want to come alongside this guy 100%. In our community, this guy in our church.
Yeah.
And and crazy. So and we brought him up on stage. And I had Trish.
You actually brought him up on stage.
We did. We brought him up on, so the service is over. We bring him up on stage.
Wow.
And I'd sent my assistant Trish. I said, "Hey, I need you to go to Walmart and get a $500 gift card. Like
awesome.
just
for the essentials.
Just like
he needs to leave with something today.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't just be like, "Hey, we're praying for you," because this whole thing, and you guys get this.
Hopes and prayers.
What? Yeah, exactly. Like this is
Hopes
the thing that we're always.
Yeah.
The criticism comes, at the church, like, oh, it's just thoughts and prayers, hopes and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers.
No, action, action.
Yeah.
And we want to be action oriented, right? So we do that. We bring them on stage. We give them the gift card, and I language like this is just like a deposit on what we know God is going to provide, in the future, all the rest. And so the service gets over, and we're mingling, greeting, doing all the kind of stuff, and then I get a call from one of our members who watches online. So we've got a pretty robust online audience, that is always there. And long story short, I've got a house. Someone just moved out of it. It's 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It's on 3 acres of property. He can have it rent free for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Man.
For 6 months.
That's God
rent
right
free. So I'm just like,
it just became vacant. He needs it right now.
Just became vacant. Hit
him with six. What was that? 6 days? 6 weeks? 6 months rent free.
Yeah, and he could move in tomorrow.
That's incredible.
Because the plan was he was just gonna move in with his mom. He's local.
Yeah.
But they were all gonna him, his twins, and his teenage son were all gonna
absolutely
just be in this one room together.
Yeah.
And God provides the way God provides.
Sure. Yeah.
But then to have this, so then super overwhelmed again.
Yeah.
And then I reach out to Christine because Christine, is just she's been an angel. She's been a warrior. Just handling all the because it's too much for Chris. It's too much for me, to be honest. Like just all the input. Like
it's a lot.
Even after church, it's like I've got a dining room set. I've got a bed. I'm like, okay, I don't have a compartment for all of this. Like we need someone. So I reached out to Christine, that afternoon. I was like, are you good? Are you solid? Can you be like this?
Yeah.
There's
I don't know what he's going to do with 17 beds that were just donated, but here, I don't know.
Exactly. So he just got moved in just
Praise
the other
God.
day. And
Awesome.
beds have arrived and couches have arrived and all different things have arrived and just so much outpouring, from the community. So it's just a great story about how community comes together, how the church comes together.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Like I said, he's such a quiet guy. So, even getting him up on our stage is like.
I was going to ask, was there a little bit of
oh my goodness.
Whoa, what?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I gotta go. You're like,
yeah,
over
yeah.
here.
It's like, no, come,
People need to hear this
coming up, And it was really cool, like from a church perspective. It was our Sunday after Thanksgiving every year is our mission Sunday. So we always highlight various things, food pantry and what we're doing overseas and all that kind of stuff. So it was just this great kind of visible demonstration of mission.
Awesome.
This is the mission.
This is
absolutely.
It's not just about.
Doesn't
We're
have to be out
grateful.
of town.
We're grateful for what's happening in Romania,
exactly.
in Zambia, and all these other places. But here's what's happening in
Here's
Oliver's with the food pantry, and then
Exactly.
here's a guy in our church faithfully every Sunday's here. His kids are involved, and we want to come alongside him.
Our mission field is right here.
And we've brought in. We're still working out the logistics of like what the need. Because I told Christine, I said, hey, let me know like where the shortfall is, because it's like thousands of dollars have come in.
Absolutely.
So like we're ready, and so and it'll be this kind of phase thing, because obviously getting him settled where he's at now. Kids in school, just new routines, new schedules, the whole thing. But then transitioning back, that'll be a big, so what from the house can then go over?
Yeah.
What needs might there still be over there? Because because thankfully, there's going to be insurance to cover, the rebuild of that duplex and great relationship with the landlord and all this kind of stuff. Because again, it wasn't. Again, he just happened to be in the same duplex as where the fire started.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so great blessing and just really encouraging. So just like shout out Yuba-Sutter community for like all you're doing to minister to this guy and we've seen it. I mean, the Jim Kings, the Jerry Handys, just all the things you guys do. People just come together, and people don't even know. They don't even know Chris.
No.
Yeah.
But it's someone in our community, someone who's in need. Like, what can we do?
Literally, name got tagged. Hey, Cam and Josh. I was like, done.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And that is the heart of a lot of people. When you look at your life and you realize you don't have that type of community, it's there waiting for you. You just have to have the boldness to find it.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is like you were talking about, he's a shy guy.
Yeah.
But he at least had a community that he was in. I think during these periods, you have a lot of people that don't have those things.
Yeah.
And then the bad things happen, and then they get mad. And it's like, well, who do you have to vent that? Who do you have to explain that with? Who are you talking with?
Right.
And I think like this, to me, makes my heart happy knowing like our community is so amazing.
And it's... Go ahead.
No, but that is a great reminder, though, not to get all pastory right now.
Bring it.
But we weren't built.
This is when our counseling begins?
We weren't. Yes. You'll get a bill.
Yeah.
This is where this is how we're. God did not build us for isolation. And from the very beginning, it's not good that the man should be alone.
Exactly.
And obviously that's a marriage context, but just that's a general principle. We need people, and so if you don't have community, you need to have community. We had some experiences kind of coming out of COVID, right?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Where there were people who were involved in churches like down in Sacramento, the Sacramento area, but living here.
Yeah.
And what they discovered during that time was it was great, but there was no community. You're driving to it, right? And so we had several people start coming like, man, like
this is
I need church, but I need community too. I need people,
and I don't want to drive an hour.
And so I want to encourage people, like, find community. Get plugged in with some people. It can be awkward, it can be hard.
Absolutely.
Some people are more like me, and we're more extroverted, and it's easy. Then there's my wife, the exact opposite, very introverted. She's always the quietest person in the room. I'm always the loudest person in the room.
The yin and the yang. It's great.
Totally. Yeah. I always say that if you and your spouse are exactly the same, then one of you is not necessary. So
you got duplicate.
Yeah. So you've got So you need that. You need that. From each other.
There you go.
So awesome. Just my encouragement. Because we never know. Like we're all a fire away. We're all and obviously when with the Paradise stuff, the the Orville, the Orville Dam, like just all the things that have happened.
Yeah.
We need community. So
and this area, one of my very first times when it really opened my eyes to how much this community will back you up, whether you're local or whether you're not. Like you just hit on it. It was the Paradise Fire.
Absolutely.
And this was a couple months before I'd even gotten to lending. I was still in the fitness industry. The fires had happened. It was right before Christmas. I think it was either late November, early December, 2018. And I had the idea to go and, you remember this, I went and bought a wreath, like a $10 wreath from Michael's craft store. And I went next door to Rayleigh's and I bought like $150 of gift cards, like random, like Walmart, Target, gas card. And I threw it on Facebook and I was like, hey, I'm going to drive this up to Chico next week. And because I was beginning to get affiliated with Salvation Army before I joined the board. And threw it on Facebook, and I said, if anybody else wants to contribute, I'm happy to grab another one. Let me know. Went to bed that night, not thinking much of it. And then in absolute Yuba-Sutter fashion, I woke up the next day, and my Cash App was going crazy, my Venmo was going crazy, and all these people were messaging me like, how can I contribute? Had enough over that night to go buy 3 more wreaths and fill them up, each with about $300 to $400 of gift cards.
Wow.
Took that photo on a Friday. Again, didn't think much of it. Like, this community is amazing. Driving them up on Monday. Shouldn't have said that because I gave people 3 more days to put more money.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Went to bed that night, woke up the next day, had like another $1,200 or $1,300. So I'm like, oh my God, eventually I just got to cap this thing because I'm not a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Had enough over the course of those like 5 or 6 days. Yuba-Sutter like poured in like $2,800.
Yeah.
I filled 8 because they ended up running out of wreaths. So I just kept buying more and more gift cards. So these wreaths looked more just like circles of gift cards, but I partnered up directly with the Salvation Army, and they were able to bring in 8 families.
Amazing.
And it was the most like, oh my God, there was not a dry eye in the building.
Yeah.
We did it at a hangar in Butte County, and it was just the most incredible thing to like literally impart something onto somebody and be like, they're like, thank you so much. I'm like, it's not me. I'm
Totally.
like this is Yuba-Sutter. We're looking out for y'all.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
And just watching this community opens up.
Yeah.
Like every time there's a fire or a flood or a famine, that you see all these trailers pouring into the fairgrounds.
Yep.
And we're open up to all of that. So it's just, like you said, like shout out to Yuba-Sutter.
Look, the Bible says, and we believe the Bible,
Absolutely.
it is more blessed to give than to receive.
Yeah.
Amen.
Like that is a true principle.
Yeah.
And so I'm always saddened if people don't have that like generosity mindset
Absolutely.
because you're missing out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're robbing
on that,
yourself.
you
of
know?
They don't
blessing.
know it.
And the other one of the things I love to say is we're not containers for God's blessings, we're conduits for God's
Absolutely.
blessings.
I love it.
So, I love this picture of like, these big gray bins, like look at all the blessings I have, look at all the love and look at all the support and look at all the resources and all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for you, but we're not containers, we're conduits. Like
Absolutely.
past that, if you've been loved, you love. If you've been given, you give. If
Absolutely.
if you've been forgiven, you forgive. Like
Yeah.
just all the things that we receive, we pass along to other people.
Yeah.
And we just see that. And we
be a
just see
river,
that.
be a river, not a pond, right?
Be a river, not a pond.
What goes
Bro,
into you
mic
should be
drop.
flowing. What goes into you should be flowing through you, and that's just how it's going to
But that's the
expand.
promises
really
of the
good.
Beatitudes. It's literally like,
Yeah.
hey, blessed are those who sorrow, right? Blessed are those. Like it's going to happen for a season, and then when the season's over, there's going to be a blessing on you, and you're going to have to be able to receive it.
Yeah.
I remember, gosh, this was a while ago. I was helping with a nonprofit, and we were doing some charitable work, and it's going. And it was very similar in the situation you're talking about, but this was, 10 years ago. I was helping with the church, and I remember I was praying, and I was going, God, like, I want to do more. How can I serve more? How can I involve myself more? And then I'm praying, and all of a sudden, how God gives you something, you see it pop in your head. And you're like, oh yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
And I saw me under a waterfall, and he goes, I want to bless you like a waterfall. And I was like, I'm all about it. He goes, the thing about a waterfall is it takes endurance. Wow. He goes, you can't just stand under the blessing and not have the endurance to run the race.
Right.
And so what you're talking about, like he's overwhelmed with emotions by getting all of these, by going, I'm in the trauma and these things. There is an endurance in life that can only be held when God is holding you in those places.
Yeah.
And it's not on you.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my heart's prayers that I pray, like, God, give me the endurance. It's not just being the river, but that river starts going, it starts breaking apart everything.
Yeah.
And a river that has no structure just starts falling apart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that, that's why faith-based communities have the ability to serve more, I don't want to say efficiently, but more morally, purposefully, because they have the outline and structure that was presented to us so that we know. Because it's great to be charitable, but if it's, I gave shoes to this program and yada, yada, yada. Are they Christian based? It doesn't matter. You find out 10 cents of that actually went to the charitable and 99% went to the other.
Right.
A lot of Christian based stuff, it's a lot more. It's like, we're doing it. We're giving as high of a rate we can to make sure that they get as much of the blessing as possible.
Yeah. No, for sure. And thinking about those, you mentioned the Beatitudes, just those kingdom principles,
Absolutely.
right? On earth as it is in heaven.
Correct.
And so just what are we doing? It's so easy to get caught in this trap of just like the sweet by and by. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm grateful that I'm
Absolutely.
a Christian. Jesus died on the cross for me. I got heaven waiting for me. No, let's bring heaven to earth. That's part of the Lord's prayer. And
Absolutely.
so how do we navigate that on a regular basis? And then just being open to, what is God calling you to do? Because one of the challenges, and I love what you just said about, really being open to, how God speaks to your heart.
Absolutely.
Because one of the challenges that we face is there's so many needs.
Yes.
You know, so it's like, okay, so it really has to be, because if we don't have a God focus in it and a faith focus in it, it can become really, really overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Because then it's about, okay, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Versus no, what is God going to do through
Correct.
me?
Correct.
And so that's a huge thing. And so even in a
balance.
in a situation like this, and you know, I pastor a large church. And there's lots of needs, and you know, just trying to figure out how to, okay, like God, what is God calling us to do?
Absolutely.
That's always the question. You know, it's not how many needs are there, because there are needs everywhere. But what is God calling us to do, and then how is God going to provide? Let me quick story.
Go for it.
Super amazing.
Love
You know, so again, a family in our church, and son in a horrible automobile accident down at UC Davis, 16 years old.
Wow.
And you know, being kept under, you know, just for you know, protection, all this kind of stuff. And, you know, single mom, you know, like don't know what to do, not sure, you know, what's going on, and like here's what's parking at UC Davis every day, and here's, you know, the travel back and forth and all this kind of stuff. And we've got a group in our church. It's a group of ladies. They get together, and it's called Just Because Coffee. They just meet just because. I know they've been at Steel before. They've been at New Earth. 100%. They've been at Panera. They kind of roam around.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, like I had no idea. They've been just kind of throughout the course of the year, just like throwing a couple bucks, you know, aside.
That's awesome.
And they literally handed me an envelope of cash of $150.
That's amazing.
And just said, hey, like, we don't know where this needs to go, but we raised this, and we want it. You know who needs to be blessed. And so I've been praying, like, Lord, okay, what am I going to do with this $150 cash?
Absolutely.
And I'm talking to this mom on the phone. I said, hey, guess what? I've got this $150 cash.
Yeah.
And it's got your name on it. I didn't know that. And you didn't know that, and these women didn't know that, but all this has been coming together just to provide a little bit of like immediate relief for the weekend, and again, a couple meals and gas and all, and then we'll figure out later like a larger strategy. But that's how God works. When we're open to hearing from Him and then responding in faith, even if we don't know exactly like what the outcome is going to be. So it's a beautiful thing.
It is. I think we all probably have like 10 or 15 stories, and again, one more. Really,
Exactly,
just to keep the momentum going. A couple years ago, my friend Ashley, who she's very open about, Jennifer Ashley, who lost her husband. I had just posted about it. She was beginning to open up about the loss of her husband, and holidays were coming. I bumped into a woman, and I'll leave her nameless because anytime she's a big contributor behind the scenes, and anytime I do anything locally, she's a really big supporter. Doesn't like the limelight at all, so I will respect that. But I bumped into her at Bel Air about 2 years ago, right after Jen had made a little bit more public about everything that she was going through. And this lady pulled me aside. She's like, hey, give me a big hug. And she was like, how have you been? Just connected. And then I was like, all right, have a great day. And she's like, oh, hold on. I've been meaning to bless you. I don't know how you're going to use it. I just know that you're a good steward, and this, that, and the other. It's just on my heart to give you X dollar amount. And like, I started welling up. I knew exactly where it was going. And I was like, let me tell you what I'm doing with this. And she was like, oh my gosh. And we just like hugged it out, had a quick little cry right there next to the Gala apples. And like anybody else saw them, they're like, they must really like apples. I don't know. They're out of Fuji. But that's just, it is so Yuba-Sutter for people to like allowing what I've noticed is if you give, and this is not just us, right? There's good people all over, but when you give somebody the opportunity to give, right? Because many people mean to, and many people want to, but you have to have the platform, right? I think absolutely. God has truly blessed this podcast and what we're trying to do here, because we've been faithful in utilizing the platform for this kind of thing, right? To bring exposure and shine some light into some dark, and give some opportunities for some local families to bless some of the local families. And when you do, and when you get around it, gosh darn it, like there's nothing that feels better. Like I would rather be out just serving and blessing people. One thing that I so love about what we do with our partnership at the food bank is just about every month, every fourth Friday when we're at the food bank, I'll have new volunteers that I don't know from Adam. And we'll meet, and we'll get all set up, and an hour and a half in, when we're wrapping up, they'll come up to me, they'll say, thank you so much. That felt amazing. And I was like, that feeling right there, I'm a little addicted to. And I will see you next month. They're like, can I bring friends? I'm like, yeah. But to get out into your community and just love on people, whether it's financial or whether it's time, and I can't remember who said it, but somebody, you're always going to fall along the lines of you have the ability to bless someone with money or bless them with time or somewhere in between, or a little bit of both, right? Yeah. And many that can't financially or fiscally give, they will find a way to get out and build boxes for us, and do a donation drive or whatever. So there's just so many opportunities, especially leading into the holiday season, for people, and they're wanting to, right? So if you allow them the platform and the opportunity and the exposure to give, you know, and God is just so faithful, and it's just so cool to see.
Yeah, we always talk about stewardship in terms of time, talent, treasure. Right?
Yeah, love that.
So. You know, some have talent that they can contribute. Some have time they contribute. Some have treasure.
Have you written the book yet? The 3 T's?
I have not. It's not original with me. Somebody else said it, but
we'll just put them in a different order, and it's yours.
Treasure, time.
Yeah, exactly. And what it does too, like I love that, you know, because I've heard those same stories. We've all heard those same stories of like, you know, we're going to bless someone, and we end up being immeasurably blessed, you know, ourselves. And the reason that is because, you know, there are 4 things that make us us. You know, we're physical, we're emotional, we're intellectual or rational, and we're spiritual.
Absolutely.
100%. And I think one of the challenges in society and in the world, and even sometimes among Christians, is we're taking care of, we want to make sure our physical health, our emotional health, but what about our spiritual health? You know, and giving and serving is a huge factor in how we're building ourselves up spiritually. And again, it's not for that purpose, but it's the side effect. You know, it's the side effect because it is something that we experience as we're giving, you know, toward other people.
Absolutely.
Well, it's like you were saying, how there's so much need all the time. It's easy to become cynical. You can look at all the need the entire time, and especially if you're in the church. You know, my heart's been challenged in this a lot. You see the need all the time, and you're like, another person, great, another thing happened. Right. And it creates almost this cynicism, almost nihilism in your heart of like whatever needs to happen. But when you engage past that and you press in and you serve, you get to see the joy and the gratitude that you don't get to see. And it pushes you past this mental block. And now all of a sudden, by being the hands and feet of Jesus, it's not just the prayer, like you're saying, prayer without action, right? Prayer without faith is dead. Right? Faith is an action word. We have to engage in it. But if you're feeling cynical and you're going, I don't think any good happens. Well, then be the good. Because as soon as you are, it breaks off you.
Right.
And your spiritual being is like, thank you. This is what I've been craving for. It's like, thank you for finally being the hands and feet. Because that's what's needed. So, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast and you're going, I give, it's fine. And there's that cynical thing in your heart, question it. I call it the shopping cart test. So every time I go to the grocery store, it's a rule with me and my kids, we put the shopping cart back.
Okay.
It's just what we do. And so it's now a habit. We just do it. But when I'm putting it back, I feel in my heart, if I'm thinking, well, I'm doing it, nobody else is putting their cart back, instantly have to do a check on my heart. Because now it's, look at my action, my ability. But then if it's on the opposite, where I'm just like, I can't believe anybody would just put this cart. You just analyze your heart. And then when you're doing it from an effortlessness, you realize it's just part of society. You're part of the community. You're just putting up what you can to put back in and bring order in the chaos that's around you. And I think that's more or less what we're called to.
Good visual.
Right? And if you are in a state where you're on the opposite end of this and you're going, another bad thing happened, of course, it's the holiday, another bad thing. That cynicism in your heart can only be broken off by serving out and being the hands and feet so your spirit can be free from this overexertion of your mind, only seeing the negative.
Well said.
No, well said. So the shopping cart, that's a great visual. That's a great analogy.
Super fun.
Good. So let me, because I want to make sure we have an opportunity to
hit it, man.
Excuse me. So there are still a few needs. Number one, so today
this need list is directly from the family.
Specifically from the family.
Absolutely.
So like I said, Christine has been great in
just
keeping
wanted to
everybody.
clarify it because people like to clickbait and then all of a sudden.
No, for sure. And again, today's Ivan's 13th birthday, so happy birthday, my man.
Birthday,
13,
man. Dude, that's awesome.
And so super cool. But basically, it's it's I'm just gonna give the list. So
Yeah,
Swiffer and accessories for Swiffer, like the Swiffer duster thing,
Awesome,
cleaning. Vacuum. It's funny, like this is all the stuff guys would not think of. That's kind of funny to me. I wouldn't have thought of that,
Nor I.
A vacuum,
Careful,
area rug for the living room, girls' rooms, boys' rooms, garage, indoor, outdoor rug. So it's all hardwood floors, inside the house. So they're looking for some area rugs. And then they're looking for create a little bit of space for the boy in the garage with like an area rug, coffee table, TV stand. Maybe like a foosball or something kind of just activity, kind of activity oriented. And then just some real simple things like paper plates, paper towels, toilet paper, some of those like disposable type things. And then dish soap, sponges. It's cleaning stuff. That's funny. Trash can for the bathrooms, and then trash cans. For the kids' rooms, kitchen trash can, garbage trash can, and then trash bags for those things. Cleaning supplies, undergarments for the kids, socks and underwear and things of that nature. And then they're looking for some winter boots for each child. I love that. I've got dad size 10.5. I don't have the other sizes, but again, it's a 13-year-old boy, a 9-year-old boy, 9-year-old girl. Those are the twins. So and they can reach out directly, to the podcast, or we've got Christine's information. I'm on Facebook. Greg Manser on Facebook. She tags me in everything that she's doing. And really good, and there's a Venmo and Cash App, and if people want to just kind of go the direct route, way.
So we'll post the actual post that she shared on her site. We'll post it on the Cam and Joe show, and so you can reach out through there, and then you'll have direct connectivity through that. We'll try to make it as easy as possible. To make it simple connection.
Yeah, and just again, really assuring people, because that was one of my initial concerns because of, and you've experienced this 100 times, I'm sure. It can just become so overwhelming, and so you need a funnel. And so Christine has been the funnel.
Absolutely.
So basically, so every call comes into the church.
Funnel and filter.
Yeah,
because people be like, oh, well, I got bags of clothes that have been in my soaking wet garage for 3 years. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
They're like, it's socks. They don't need socks. You're like,
thank you.
Yeah. You literally have, it's like, thank you. It's a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we get them some new socks?
Right.
Help me out.
Right.
So sometimes people will use a little bit on the negative side. But they'll use a disaster as like a, thank God I can finally get rid of the old bed frame and the
Is that
mattress.
why you're not taking my old
I don't need your box spring from 93, bro.
So I was raised by a single mom, and that's why I always have a real heart for the single moms, in our church and our community. And this is a single dad. And our church, growing up, they would do little food drive things from time to time. And I always used to joke with my mom about, because we'd always get wax beans.
Nice.
And I always be what are, I'm like 10. I'm like, what are wax beans? I'm like, they made of wax. And it was always here's something on my shelf I've never used. So I'm gonna give that, So that's what happens sometimes.
We're doing a canned food drive. And you're like, awesome, thank you. You look at the dates, you're like,
oh my gosh.
that one's open. Oh, God.
Yeah. So anyway, just to kind of reassure people, Christine's doing a great job, funnel and filter, and she, like I said, it's been a godsend because because otherwise we'd end up with 17 beds, and 5 couches.
You roll up to church on Sunday morning and there's just it looks like the dump, and you're like, oh no, you meant well, but I got it.
So anyway, so we're super grateful.
Do we know if they have a Christmas tree yet?
I don't know.
Would you ask if they have a Christmas tree? That is so on my heart. If they don't have a Christmas tree, I'm calling dibs.
Okay.
Or Joe and I will go pick up.
The podcast will take care of the Christmas tree.
I will pick up a Christmas tree today.
Okay.
Just give me the address, and we'll go set that thing up.
Okay.
If they're at work or whatever, if we have a key, how cool would it be for them to come home from work today with a Christmas tree
Christmas tree up, decorated.
Yeah.
Lights.
I'm in. I will move a meeting or two if I need to today.
Okay.
That's happening.
Down. That's amazing.
happening. All right, cool.
Sweet. Okay.
Done.
Okay. I'll check in. I'll check in and find out. So yeah.
Cool, man.
It's been amazing.
Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Greg, super happy to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thanks for all you guys do in the community. It's just, like I said, it's an honor to be a part of what's going on. So one of the things we like, let me give you one more little adventurism. One of the things we like say
I like that.
is we don't want to just do what God wants us to do. We want to be a part of what God is already doing.
Absolutely.
And we just always feel like God is on the move. The Spirit is moving, right? We don't know where's the wind coming from. The Spirit goes where it will. And we just want to be a part. So just, shout out Yuba-Sutter community again for always being the hands and feet of Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And being on the move with people and coming alongside people in need. It's an honor. Like I said, when we had the opportunity, we moved out of state, we moved back. Like, it was the first time in our life, because every time we'd moved, it was for a ministry job. It's a gig somewhere. Like, okay, we're going here, now we're going here, now we're going here. So when we moved to New York and things ended up not, working out, and we can do another
Sure.
share the
Yeah,
whole story. The
Everybody
whole,
in New York said he's from Chicago.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Go Knicks, get him out of here.
You're not wrong. And it was literally it was the first time in our entire married life that we had the opportunity to move anywhere in the country, because we were just going to go and kind of resettle, reestablish, and then figure out what was so short term was like resettle our family. And then long term, let's figure out what ministry looks like. And we came back here. Like, we wanted to come back to this. Now, originally it was Natomas, because I was nervous about coming back to Yuba City specific.
Sure.
But just this entire area, it's so meaningful. It's so meaningful. There's do you guys know Field of Dreams? I'm a movie.
Oh,
yeah, Field of Dreams.
Build it, and they will come.
Build it, and they will come. So Doc Graham. So there's that scene. There's that scene with Doc Graham, and he talks about, because they invite him to come and come to the field, and he says something about like how a community it becomes a part of who you are, and you just nourish it, you cherish it, and that's how I feel about this community. It's just part of who we are, and it's such a blessing, to be part of it. So
it is.
It's awesome.
You guys do it well. Keep leading well, and God's just going to continue to bless your faithfulness.
Same with you guys. You're doing great. Thanks, you, man.
Appreciate
and Merry
you,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas
to you and your families.
This is our first podcast in December. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. So this is awesome, and just best wishes, and I hope we get to do it again.
We will.
The opportunity.
We definitely will.
We will.
Cool.
Thank
cool.
you.
Cut!
Fellas, where are we going?
So, we just finished a podcast with Pastor Greg Mentzer. We're talking about a house that burned down. And in the process of that, Cam on the podcast said, hey, we're going to go and we're going to donate a Christmas tree. And I was like, I'm down. Whatever we need to do, let's get him a Christmas tree so that they can have a blessed Christmas. And Cam, say what happened next.
It was the coolest thing. I'm not even surprised, because this is just how God works. You put it out into the universe that there is a need, and then it's just matched and superseded.
Absolutely.
So Greg is telling us about this family that lost their home in the fire, and it's on my heart. I'm like, hey, let's go. Joe and I, we're good for it. We're gonna go grab a Christmas tree today. We'll bless the family. If there's a way that we can get this tree set up, maybe even while they're at school and work, so they can come home to a Christmas tree, that would be incredible.
Absolutely.
And he's like, all right, cool, yeah, let's do it. We cut. We stopped rolling on the podcast, and I looked down at my phone, and I have a message from my friend Angela
at 8:45 a.m.
At 8:45 that
we
I hadn't
filmed. We filmed at 9.
So this was already. So the blessing was already in hand when we thought, hey, we're gonna get them a tree. And I looked down at this message from my friend Angela, and I'm like, what? No way. And she's like, hey, just want to let you know I just picked up a brand new Christmas tree, and I wanted to be able to bless somebody with it. Let me know if you know of anybody that needs a Christmas tree. I'm like, what?
It's crazy.
Oh my God. So I'm like,
it's crazy.
I'm like, Greg and Joe are talking. I'm like, hold on, read this. And they're like, no way.
It was absolutely crazy.
Just so crazy that we're talking about blessing somebody with a Christmas tree, and the blessing is already there. I think like the magic is like it was literally.
Yep, it was ready.
It was already there before we're like, let's bless somebody with a tree.
And so we got the code to the gate. We're going into the house. The house is unlocked. We're waiting for us. We're going to set up the Christmas tree without them knowing to bless them. And then we got a birthday card because it's his son's 13th birthday
today.
And we got a GameStop gift card and some cash we're throwing in there to help bless the kid out. So it's going to be awesome. So next time you see us, we're going to be picking up that tree. Getting content while we're driving. Look at that.
My Cam and I was at my Cam and Joe toast. We don't have a Cam and Joe toast. We should.
We do. It's called the avocado toast.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. What's the new address?
Friday,
Love it. Birthday card. What are you thinking about putting into it?
Please follow our podcast.
Yeah. One call, one text, one prayer in the dark, and 1,000 hearts start beating like Noah's Ark. We're loading up love in the back of the truck, 'cause mercy don't wait when it's time to show up. With a hands, with our feet, carrying Christmas down a broken street. 7-foot tree in a house that was empty, now it's glowing with hope for a family of 3. Oh, this is what love looks like when heaven comes down and turns on the lights. Where the hands and the feet. This is Jesus.